Welcome to Blue Apple. My name is Shakir, and this video I will teach you how to install and configure ESX server. For anyone new to the VMware ESX, the task of installation can be initially very daunting and confusing. That's because VMware ESX does not install inside the Windows operating systems like in an application, nor does it always install on any server that can run Windows. I would walk you through the process of installing and configuring VMware ESXi, as well as scenario related to the installations requirement and how to ensure that you have validate your ESXi configurations. So first of all, you have to download ESXi ISO from VMware website. In my case, I have already downloaded and will be mounted the ISO to the newly created VMs. So let's start creating a new virtual machine. Click Create New Virtual Machine in Workstation Pro. Now you will see two options, Typical and Customs. So I will go with the Typical. Click Next. Okay, and this pop-up menu windows, you will see three options: Installer Disk, ISO, and Install Operating System Later. So I will select Install Operating System Later. Click Next. In the GIS operating system, select VMware ESX and the version should be 6. Click Next. Specify the virtual machine name and location. In my case, it's ESXi1. And location will be D drive. Click Next. The disk size I will specify 90 GB. In my case, is enough 90 GB for the test environment. And store the disk as a single file for a performance. Click Next. And here, just review the configurations and click Finish. So now the machine has been created, as you see in the ESXi. Okay, so there's two options to mount the CD. Right click on the machine and go to the setting. And click on CD DVD and specify the ISO image, or just click from here, DVD and CD, and specify the image file. So click Browse. Here you will see the ISO which I already downloaded, VMware Installer 6.7 Update 2. Click OK. So now I have mounted the ISO image inside the virtual machine, and let's start the machine. So now we are installing ESX server, which would only be used for lab and training environment. By default, this will automatically boot the ESX hypervisor, or might be just require press enter. In my case, it's boot automatically. So we can see the VMware ESX yellow screen. This is what the screen look like when you go to the ESX server console. So you have this yellow screen, and typically you will have an option here to log into the configure the servers. But right now, of course, we are loading the installation of ESX. Typically you will see menu here to log in and configure the hypervisor. But right now we are loading the module to actually start the installation of a hypervisor. So let's just give it a minute. Alright, now you are welcome to the VMware ESX 6.7 installation. It says press enter to continue the installation. Of course, it's also is recommended you check the VMware compatibility guide to make sure that the hardware that you are installing ESXi on the compatible with ESX, then it's fully supported by VMware. So we press enter. We are going to press F11 here to accept and the end user agreement. So and then we are scanning for the available device to install ESX on. In our case, we have just a single disk. It says the VMware drive, and the capacity is 9 GB. So press enter here to install. So we'll take the default keyboard layout of US default. Press enter. Then we will type the root password. A complex password is required. I typically use a number, uppercase and lowercase, as well as special character, and then it says you are sure here. So now scanning the system, asking for confirming installations. I'll press F11. So now it's installing ESX 6.7. So now VMware is very thin, light, hypervisor, so it's almost done. And it does not take much time at all to install, and with that installation is almost complete. So we'll just press enter here to reboot the server and start up the VMware ESX. Alright, VMware ESX is booting. Here we are, the classic ESX yellow screen. So now you can see is 6.7 is the host. And we are running the VMware virtual platform. Normally you would have the physical server name right here, like in my case it's a laptop. So we have 2 CPUs and 4 GB of memory on the ESX host. Alright, we have successfully booted VMware ESX, and it's tell us that we can download tools to manage this host via web browser. There's the IP addresses. And the URL here is 192.168.23.137, which is took from DHCP. So on the bottom it says press F2 to customize the systems and view the logs. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll press F2. In the login, we will put the default username and the password which we set in the previous video. So the login name is the root, and from the down I will press the down key and I will put the password. Press enter. Okay. Okay, so we logged in on the customization file, system customizations file. So here if you want to configure the password, so we can configure from from set configure password, configure management network. If you see here, you will see here in the right side, you will see the host name, the IP addresses, and the network identity. So I will press enter to see which type of network adapter I have. In this case, I have only one, which is Ethernet 0. And here you will set the VLAN. And for the IP4 configurations, I have to make it as a static. So I will press enter. So alright, now I'm configuring the IP addresses as a static. So I'll go down. I will press spacebar to make a static IP addresses. Then I will press again the down key and I will press enter to configure the IP address. Okay, so just type the IP addresses. And this will be the default subnet mask, and I will remove the gateway because it's my lab environment. I don't have a router right now. I will configure this later. Press OK to save. Okay, I will specify right now my gateway, which is press enter. Okay, so now I configure the IP addresses. So let's go for the DNS. Press enter. Here use the following DNS server address. Press space. Specify the DNS name. In my case, I have configured the DNS on my Active Directory machine on the AD1, so I will specify my AD machine IP address here. I don't have a secondary DNS, so I will go with this, and the host name will be ESX. I'll specify the ESX host name. Press enter to save. For the DNS suffix, press enter. So I'll specify my domain, which is Blue Apple. Let me configure with the fully ESX fully qualified domain name ESXi dot. So let's go into the DNS configurations, and let's change the primary DNS to 192.168.1.1. Press spacebar. Okay, so now the primary DNS is 192.168.1.1. I already configured it, and I don't have any secondary DNS, so I'll leave it as a blank. And the host name, I'll specify my ESX host, the fully qualified domain name ESXi1. xi1.blueapple.com. Press enter. In the custom DNS suffix, I will configure my domain name blueapple.com. Enter. Okay, press escape. So it's asking about the configurations of management network confirmation. I will press Y, yes. So now you will see here the host name is ESX1, the IP address is, the machine is 192.168.1.1. Okay, I will press escape again. Here you will see on the yellow page they're just pointing your browser ESX1 in this case, because the host name is alias we have already configured in the DNS for the IP address we will be using. So it's HTTP ESXi1. My IP address is now showing the statics 192.168.101. So we will just going this to point out IP address, and I will show you how to manage your ESX host in the next video.